from the Samoan.
Badiris
at dummy half. Scoots away. Gets it away to Sinfield. Sinfield uses the feet. Here is Ablett. And it's last tackle for the Rhinos. They've looked the short side of Maguire. Here is Delaney. Delaney just drops it onto the foot. It's gone through the feet of Youngquist, and Donald will score. And Leeds have got the first try of the season. Mellors upended. Lee at dummy half. Here is Withers again coming crossfield. Steps though into Ryan Bailey. Last tackle for the Crusaders. Lee at dummy half finds Witt with the banana kick, and that's well taken by Watkins. Oh, dangerous. Gets it to Badiris. Here's Donald to Delaney. Chance for Delaney to open the legs up. He's got Maguire on the outside. Here's Maguire. Danny Maguire down the touchline, and Leeds are going to strike from nothing, and Danny Maguire's going to go the distance. First try of the second half, and it's come from Danny Maguire. Burrow pops it out the back door to Badiris. Here is Jamie Jones Buchanan, and Jamie Jones Buchanan just short of the line. Here is Badiris at dummy half, gets it to Sinfield. Maguire pops it up for Eastwood. Eastwood gets it back to Sinfield. Oh, great hands. Maguire to Delaney, and Delaney pulled to ground. 5 away from the line. Badiris at dummy half, stabs it into the end goal. Sinfield, and Kevin Sinfield's got the try for the Rhinos.
Well done.
Badiris at dummy half, pops it up to Ablett.
3, move. Hand off the ball, come on.
Here's Badiris, finds Kirk.
4, movement. Go.
Badiris at dummy half. Quick ball inside for Maguire. Here's Delaney. Delaney for a debut try, and Brett Delaney gets the 4th Leeds Rhinos try in the last 10 minutes. Badiris at dummy half. Pops it back to Burrow. Burrow gets it wide to Eastwood. Eastwood has a hand free but decides to stick hold.
Hold it here. Go.
Badiris at dummy half. Finds Maguire. Maguire to Watkins. Watkins is held up 5 short of the line. Danny Badiris at dummy half. Finds Maguire. Maguire to Lauatiti. Lauatiti, magic feet. Ali Lauatiti for the line. Will score. Here's Badiris at dummy half. Finds Maguire. Maguire to Sinfield. Sinfield, short pass to Chris Clarkson. And that's the first try of the night. 14 minutes on the clock. And it's Chris Clarkson who's got the try for the Rhinos. Smith at dummy half. Finds Sinfield. Here's Ian Kirk on the charge. Gets 11 away from the line. Here's McShane at dummy half. Finds Sinfield. Sinfield out to Maguire. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan. 3-on-2. Here's Senior. Senior's lost it. Jamie Jones picks it up. Here's Ryan Hall. And Ryan Hall has scored. And Leeds are in. 10 minutes gone in the second half. And Ryan Hall it is who gets the try. Huddersfield have got about 7 in the scrum. Here is Sinfield. Pops it up to Senior. Senior gets it away. Dangerous ball. Delaney does well to take it. Gets it to Donald on the bounce. No need to panic yet. Donald's heading towards sideline, but Delaney and Clarkson rescue the day. Here's Clarkson at dummy half. Finds Sinfield. Here is Lauatiti on the charge. Gets over the 40. Here's Badiris at dummy half. Gets it to Sinfield. Here's Maguire to Smith, who chimes into the line. Long pass out for Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall puts a kick in. Here comes Danny Maguire. Here comes Danny Maguire. And Danny Maguire has scored. And Leeds are in. It's taken them 70 seconds to reply. And it's Danny Maguire's 199th career try. And Leeds have hit back immediately. Pops it up for Lauatiti. Lauatiti with a couple of steps. Kevin Sinfield waits. Danny Badiris gives him the nod. Everybody's lined up for it. Here is Sinfield. Kicks on its way. Kicks on its way. It's missed. It's missed. It's missed. It's missed. Badiris finds Sinfield. Here is Peacock. Peacock still going. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Here's Badiris. Finds Smith. Smith sets off. Left-footed drop goal. And it's missed. This is Huddersfield's possible last set of the game. Here is Lunt. Brough at dummy half. Finds Horn. Horn's dropped it. Horn's dropped it. Maguire gets it back. Leeds have got 50 seconds. As Badiris finds Smith. Badiris at dummy half. Gets it to Peacock. Badiris at dummy half. Gets it to Sinfield. Here is Maguire. Maguire with a couple of steps. No panic at the moment. Badiris at dummy half finds Sinfield. Sinfield gets it away, and Sinfield's kicked it. 20 seconds left, and Kevin Sinfield has won the game for the Rhinos with a drop goal from 30 metres. Graham Horn will be distraught. Or at dummy half gets it to Melling. Here is Gale wide to Dawn. Dawn out for Clubb. Clubb's dropped it, and here's a chance for Lee Smith. Lee Smith's picked up the loose ball. Lee Smith for the corner. Has he got the legs? Yes! And Leeds have scored. 10.5 minutes on the clock. It's come from the mistake by Tony Clubb. Badiris at dummy half finds Luluai on the charge. Here's Kylie Luluai. Put to ground. 12 away from the line. Badiris at dummy half. Sets off crossfield. Gets it to Webb. Webb with a dummy. Webb just brought to ground by Tomato. Quick play the ball. Here is McShane. Paul McShane for the line. Paul McShane's over, and Paul McShane's got it down, and Leeds are in for a second try. 14.5 minutes on the clock, as McShane can't quite get the ball into the scrum. Does this time. Clarkson from the base finds Ablett. Poor pass to Webb, and Webb gets away from Gale though. Here's Webb. Webb with the dancing feet. Webb for the line, and that is simply awesome from Brent Webb. Badiris comes the short side for McShane. 2 out for Senior. Senior trying to get away from Clubb. Gets it back inside to Badiris, and Badiris straightens up. McShane at dummy half finds Webb. Webb out for Ambler. Ambler back to Webb. Chances here. Here is Delaney. Delaney cuts back in field, and he's going to be put to ground. 10 away from the line as the sun disappears. Here's Badiris at dummy half finds Webb. Webb gets it away, and that's Ambler. Ambler for the line, and Ambler scored, and Leeds are in. Wasn't the best pass for Delaney. Here's Badiris at dummy half finds Webb. Webb goes short to Luluai. Luluai tries to keep the legs going. There's 1, 2, 3 Harlequins defenders in there. Here's Badiris at dummy half finds McShane, and McShane quickly pounced on by Danny Orr. That's come out, and that's going to be all on. Oh, he's not given a zero tackle. That was reefed out, that. Here's McShane at dummy half finds Webb. Webb drops it onto the boot looking for Senior, but it's come up for Smith, and Smith's got the try. Badiris at dummy half finds Ambler. Badiris finds Webb. Webb pops it up to Kirk. Badiris for Luluai. Goes out to Eastwood. Eastwood with a couple of steps. Eastwood out to Ablett. Ablett for the line, and Carl Ablett's in. Third Leeds try in the second half. Badiris at dummy half finds Jay Pitts. Last tackle for the Rhinos as Brent Webb got seen the short side. Smith drops it onto the foot. Here comes Webb, and it's come up, for Lee Smith, and that's going to be a hat-trick for Lee Smith, and that's it. Game over. It's with Breers, and Breers goes high into the sun. Tester for Ryan Hall, and Hall safe under the high ball. Chase not the best, and Hall gets through the first tackle but not the second. Smith at dummy half finds Senior. Good line from Senior. Senior gets round Mathers. Here's Keith Senior for the line. Foot race on. Senior's got away, and Keith Senior's going to score, and Leeds are level. Great counter attack from the Rhinos. And time off called by James Child. As Sinfield puts it into touch. Leeds will start just outside the 20. Here's Badiris finds Jay Pitts. Badiris at dummy half. Here's Peacock on the charge. gets to within 8 of the line. Badiris at dummy half. Here's Maguire, here's the runners, and here's Eastwood, and it's Greg Eastwood who's got the try. That is as simple as it comes. Here's Badiris at dummy half, gets it away, 2 out for Peacock. Peacock gets it back for Maguire and no offload coming. Badiris at dummy half, finds Sinfield. Sinfield going into the corner looking for Donald. Donald's taking it and Donald scored. Great take from Scott Donald. And a second penalty of the half for the Rhinos. And Kevin Sinfield gets it into the corner and Leeds will start just outside the 20. Here's Badiris, finds Smith. Here is Peacock. Peacock spins away from the first challenge and gets 11 away from the line. Badiris at dummy half goes on his own. Here's Danny Badiris, and Danny Badiris has scored, and Leeds are in. Quick response from the Rhinos. Badiris at dummy half for Jamie Jones Buchanan, almost found a gap. Here's Badiris again at dummy half. Badiris beginning to take control from the dummy half area. Smith at dummy half now, finds Sinfield, switches the direction to Peacock. Peacock dumps it out to Maguire. Long ball here for Delaney. Delaney all wrapped up. Here's Badiris at dummy half, finds Maguire out into the corner and they're in. Ryan Hall is in at the corner and Leeds are back in front. McShane at dummy half. Here's Jamie Jones Buchanan. McShane at dummy half. McShane with the offload to Maguire, and Danny Maguire's made the break. He's got Ablett with him. Maguire goes on his own, and Maguire's going to score, and Leeds are in. All came from the quick thinking of Paul McShane. Here's Badiris at dummy half, finds Maguire to Ian Kirk. Ian Kirk for the line, reaches out, and Ian Kirk scored, and Leeds are in. 10 minutes on the clock, and Leeds have hit back thanks to Ian Kirk. Here's Webb at dummy half, finds Maguire. Here's Lawatiti to Smith. Smith back on the inside. Lee Smith just can't get away from Gibson. 5 away from the line. Lawatiti for the line. Pops it up to Ryan Hall, and Ryan Hall has scored. And that is pure genius from the big Samoan. Pops it back to Clarkson. Clarkson back to Lee Smith. Lee Smith looks for a gap. Can't get on the outside. Lawatiti at dummy half. Finds Jamie Jones Buchanan. McShane at dummy half, taken from Marker but gets it back to Jamie Jones Buchanan. Jamie Jones looking for options, gets it to Sinfield. Sinfield's found a gap and Sinfield's going to score, and that's come from absolutely nothing. What's happened there? And scrum packed down. Malcolm Olcott is okay. Time on again. Here's Sinfield back for Delaney. Delaney's got clear. Brett Delaney's got daylight. Brett Delaney needs support. Has it from Donald. Here's Scott Donald for the corner. Nobody's going to catch him. And Leeds are in. Third try of the second half. All come from Brett Delaney. Maguire goes high with the kick. Brent Webb's overrun it. It's been batted back by Ablett. Flipped up by Badiris. Burgess has it. Burgess gets it away to Maguire. Maguire to Clarkson. Clarkson for the line. And it's been touched. It's all on. Here's Sinfield. Back to Jamie Jones Buchanan. Jamie Jones Buchanan floats it out to Ryan Hall for the corner. And Ryan Hall has scored. And that could probably seal things up for the Rhinos. Second try of the afternoon. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Peacock. Peacock has the arms free. Gets it back to Diskin. Here's Maguire on the second phase to the beast, Greg Eastwood.
3. Move! Over 10. Go, 3.
Maguire, Diskin at dummy half, finds Maguire. Maguire tries to get on the outside of
Move!
Snitch,
Go,
but can't.
Donald.
Here's Donald at dummy half to Burrow. Not many options, pops it back to Eastwood. Eastwood with a step, Eastwood with the offload. Here's Maguire. Maguire cuts back infield, gets it to Clarkson. Here's Chris Clarkson, and Leeds are in. First try of the night, and it's gone to the youngster Chris Clarkson. As Diskin goes from dummy half. Diskin's got 3. Diskin's got Maguire. Maguire's got Burrow next to him. Maguire's done it, gone for the glory himself, and Danny Maguire scored, and Leeds are in. second try of the evening.
Go, 1,
Disking at dummy half, finds Peacock.
2, move Joe, hold, go,
Disking at dummy half, finds Burrow, back to Burgess.
3rd, move, hold, go,
Disking at dummy half to Maguire. Here's Jamie Jones, who's just come into the action.
4, move, hold, go,
Disking at dummy half, finds Burrow. Burrow with the dummy. Burrow goes underneath. Burrow's going to get in, and it's a 3rd Leeds try of the evening, and that's all come from the magic of the pocket rocket. Rob Burrow. Shane at dummy half goes on his own. Paul McShane finds a bit of daylight. Paul McShane, just didn't back himself. Here's Lowatiti. This is for the coup de grace, and Ali Lowatiti has scored for the Rhinos. After all the pressure, Leeds get to the other end of the field, and it's the big man who's in for the try. Chase finds McGoldrick. McGoldrick gets away from Lowatiti, and it's been intercepted by Ryan Hall, and this is going to be a try for Ryan Hall. Nobody's going to get near him. He's going to come under onto the black dot. Leeds fans behind the bus are ecstatic, and Ryan Hall gets the try for the Rhinos, and with a kick to come, they're going to go 30 points clear.
move, go,
Disking at dummy half to Maguire. Maguire to Webb, it's opened up. Webb looks for Donald, and Donald's in at the corner. 6th league try of the night, and it's Scott Donald who's got in, thanks to an unselfish piece of play from Brent Webb. The Castleford defence had parted. Brent Webb could have easily scored himself. Instead, he finds Scott Donald, who gets in at the corner for the try for the Rhinos. Here we are, 80 minutes away from Wembley, and Phil Bentham calls time on Jamie Foster with the kick-off. It's high, and Maguire fields and pops it up to Peacock, and Peacock puts the ground 5 away from the line. Badiris at dummy half. Here is Bailey, who escaped suspension after being put on report by Ganson last week. Here is Badiris at dummy half, onto Jamie Jones Buchanan. We expect it to be rough and tumble this first 20 minutes. Here's Sinfield. Nothing silly from Leeds in this opening set. They had an overnight hotel stay, did the Rhinos. Here's Peacock, good run from Jamie Peacock, gets Leeds just short of the 40. First set of the game, it's with Maguire. Maguire puts the kick downfield, it's poor, it's straight down the throat of Paul Wellens, and Wellens looks to run it back, but Badiris leading the chase. Roby gets into dummy half. Here is Eddie Gardner, and Gardner puts the ground on the 40. Here's Roby at dummy half, finds the youngster McGuinness. Roby at dummy half, finds James Graham, and Graham immediately met strongly by Jamie Jones Buchanan. No love lost between the big Saints front rower and a few of the Leeds forwards. Here is Hargreaves. Hargreaves just gets over the 40. Last tackle for the Saints. Options either side. It's going to go to Wilkin, and Wilkin immediately puts a towering kick up. Ryan Hall's under it. It's come back off Foster. That'll be play on. Senior's got it, and we'll play on from there as Burrow gets to dummy half. Here is Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall still going, won't go to ground. Badiris at dummy half. Here's Lee Smith in off the wing to help out. Good quick play of the ball. Badiris notices that and goes from dummy half. Burrow at dummy half finds Peacock to Maguire, and Maguire has been taken, he's lost it, and Wilkin collects. Here's Melly. Melly's going to scoot clear, and Francis Melly is going to put Saints on the board. 2 minutes 22 gone. Bentham's going upstairs, wants to check something. Does Phil Bentham. Possibility of a knock-on in the play, I think. Ian Smith's first decision of the afternoon, Francis Melly. It is, who's got the try. Might be looking for a knock-on off Flannery. It's to Peacock. Here's Maguire, and it's a knock-on. This is going to be disallowed. It's a clear knock-on from Cliff Flannery. He's gone for the ball. All the Leeds fans are Leeds fans have cheered. All the Leeds players are set up in midfield for all the players know where the knock-ons happened. By Flannery. Here's Smith at dummy half. Goes on his own. Smith has lost it backwards, and that's been picked up by Scott Moore. Smith ruling it's been reefed out. Here is Wilkin at dummy half. Finds Clough. Roby at dummy half. Finds Ashurst. 19 minutes gone here at the Golf Farm. Still Leeds lead by that 2 points to nil as Wilkin finds Flannery, and Flannery put to ground. On the 20, here's Wilkin at dummy half. Back for Roby. Roby's got it away. Here's Clough. Clough looking for support. Clough looks to straighten up, and Clough has lost it. And it's a great tackle from Luke Burgess. Here's Webb at dummy half. Finds Jamie Jones. And a penalty for Leeds Saints, all caught offside. And Leeds have got a man down in back play. Is that Brett Delaney who's down with the trainer? As Sinfield with the touch finder. Just about gets it into touch. What a kick from Kevin Sinfield. Gets Leeds 40 metres upfield, and it is Brett Delaney. He's hobbling. Here is Maguire back for Burgess. Brett Delaney is struggling. Here is Badiris at dummy half. Finds Burrow. Burrow pops it up to Webb, and Webb running up a blind alley. Looks to get away from Gidley. Here is Senior. Senior back to Webb. Here's Brent Webb to Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall for the corner, and Leeds have scored. 20 minutes on the clock, and it's Ryan Hall who's got him for the Rhinos. Comes off the back of the penalty. Ball, great offload. The final pass touched the Saints' hand, but it's still got to Ryan Hall, and Ryan Hall gets in at the corner, and Leeds have extended their lead here. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. As this takes place, Brett Delaney is getting heavy treatment on the 40-metre line from the trainers. He's working on the knee or something, and he's up and not limping as much, and he's going to be okay by the looks of it. And Sinfield with this kick from the touchline. He's got the wind in his face. Here is Sinfield. Kicks on its way. It's curling in. What a kick from Kevin Sinfield. Flags are up. And with 22 minutes on the clock, Leeds lead by 8 points to 0. And here is Jamie Foster, gets us back underway. Maguire finds Burgess. It's definitely hit somebody. Jamie Foster still protesting to Clint Sherrod about the pass that's probably touched a hand. But Leeds will have the scrum, and here's Senior to bring it away. Maguire at dummy half finds Jamie Jones Buchanan. Change coming for the Rhinos. Kylie Luluai is on his way. Here is Delaney, looks to have recovered from that knock. As Ryan Bailey makes his way off, and Kylie Luluai joins the action. Here's Sinfield to Burgess, and Burgess has lost that. And we'll pack a scrum down just inside the Leeds half. Just a bit of a loose carry from Luke Burgess. Moore feeds the scrum. Roby goes from the base. Roby almost gets away from Clarkson. Here's Wilkin at dummy half. Finds Clough. Cunningham at dummy half. Gets it to Wilkin. Wilkin back to Pulatua. And Pulatua is 8 metres away from the line. Here is just short. literally just short, and he's got it down. Paul Wellens has scored. It looked like he was short, and Phil Bentham's pointed to the spot, and it's the Saints fullback Paul Wellens who's got it. It looked like Wellens had fallen short, but just managed to get the momentum, roll over, and he's put the ball down for the first Saints try. And here is Jamie Foster with the conversion attempt for the Saints. He's more or less on the black dot. It's a kicker of great repute, Jamie Foster, and the flags are up here at the Gulf Farm Carnegie Challenge Cup semi-final. It's Leeds Rhinos 8, St Helens 6. Welcome back as Kevin Sinfield gets us underway. Awkward kickoff, and Gidley just managed to keep that in play. Here's Moore. Diskin at dummy half, finds Peacock. Here's Diskin, finds Kylie Lulawai, and a penalty for the Rhinos. Saints caught offside. And this time it's going in the corner. Leeds will start 15 from the line. Diskin for Maguire. Here is Peacock. Oof, big hit from Pulatua. Here's Diskin at dummy half. Finds Burrow. Burrow back for Lulawai. Diskin at dummy half. Here is Sinfield. Here's the beast, Greg Eastwood. Eastwood put to ground. 2 from the line. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Sinfield. Here is Burrow. Burrow looks to go on his own. Misses Sinfield. Tries to go, and he's wrapped up by Emmett. Options either way. Diskin at dummy half. Finds Maguire. Maguire for Delaney. Here's Brett Delaney, and he's pulled up just short of the line. Scott Moore's down for Saints. Here's Diskin. Diskin pops it onto the boot. Lee Smith puts the pressure on. It's gone touching goal, and we'll come back for a 20-metre restart. And Saints not looking to get on with it too quickly. Here is Emmett. Cunningham at dummy half. Finds Clough. 7.5 minutes left to the break. Here's Cunningham at dummy half. Finds Roby. And here's another penalty. And Phil Bentham just tightening up a little bit on these offsides. And it's 4-all the penalty count, and an ironic cheer from the Saints fans as that kick to touch lands about 10 rows deep in our standards. Emmett takes it in for the Saints. Cunningham at dummy half. Cunningham gets it to Pulatua. Cunningham at dummy half, comes the near side to Clough. Cunningham, Roby up the short side. Roby goes on his own. Jamie Foster wanted the ball there. Here's Cunningham. Cunningham goes on his own. Kieran Cunningham's in. Kieran Cunningham has scored, and Saints are in front. Phil Bentham checks, and Kieran Cunningham has put Saints in the lead. We've seen him do it 1,000 times before. Kieran Cunningham at dummy half, goes to short side, puts the power on, barrels over 2 defenders and gets the ball down, and 7 minutes to half time. Saints are in the lead. Here is Foster. Kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at the Gulf Farm Stadium, and Saints lead by 12 points to 8. Burrow puts a little chip through for Webb. Wellens has got it. Wellens gets out of the in-goal area. Surely Paul Wellens grounded that ball. Here is Roby at dummy half, finds Jamie Foster. Cunningham at dummy half, comes the near side to Gidley. Cunningham up the short side for Roby. Cunningham at dummy half, finds Scott Moore. Here is Emmett. And Emmett put to ground, 5 short of halfway. Cunningham at dummy half, finds Scott Moore, and Moore just drills it along the ground, looking to get it off the island, and Saints happy just to slow things down at the moment. And it will be head and feed to the Rhinos. As Burrow feeds the scrum. Inside 2 minutes at the end of the half, as Maguire forced to take it in for the Rhinos. Here is Webb at dummy half, goes on his own, and Welland's well aware of what Brent Webb was planning. Diskin finds Peacock. Diskin goes on his own, Matt Diskin gets it back to Webb. Here is Sinfield to Eastwood. Shocking pass straight into the hands of Francis Melly, and Saints are going to get a try right on half time, and that's come from a shocking pass from Greg Eastwood. Melly's going to take his time, Melly's going to put it down, and that is exactly not what Leeds needed. A horrendous pass from Greg Eastwood. It went straight into the hands of Francis Melly, and Melly goes 40 metres untouched, walks over the try line and puts it down. And could that be a hammer blow for the Rhinos' Wembley chances? And here is Jamie Foster with the conversion attempt for Saints. This will be meat and drink for the youngster. Here is Foster, flags are up, and as we come up to half time here at the Golf Farm, it's Leeds Rhinos 8, St Helens 18. As that's it, half time here at the Golf Farm Stadium. St Helens lead by 18 points to 8. Leeds got off to a great start, a penalty from Kevin Sinfield, then he converted the try from Ryan Hall, but Saints have hit back through Paul Wellens, Kieran Cunningham, and that one on the bell from Francis Melly. 3 goals from Jamie Foster mean that Saints lead by 18 points to 8 at half time. Stay with us, the second half coming up in a couple of moments time. Welcome back to the second half here at the Golf Farm Stadium, where Leeds trail by 18 points to 8. Kevin Sinfield about to get us underway for this second half. As Phil Bentham throws time on, Leeds 40 minutes to get back in it if to kind of keep the Wembley dream alive, as Pilatua brings back the opening kick-off. Cunningham at dummy half, finds Emmett. No changes for either side. Here is been dropped by Wilkin, and Leeds are going to get an early chance at the Saints line. No ball at the moment, so Bentham quickly calls time off. Poor error that from John Wilkin, really. And Burrow will feed the scrum. Sinfield from the base pops it up to Delaney. Here's Diskin at dummy half, finds Peacock. Diskin at dummy half. Saints look a little short this top side. Here's Maguire, here's Webb. Webb to Senior. Senior to Ryan Hall. And Leeds have made that perfect start to the second half. and it's a second try for Ryan Hall. 60 seconds on the clock, and Leeds immediately back in the game. We said Saints were short that top side, and Leeds just simply used the numbers. Eastwood was the dummy runner, Maguire to Webb, Webb to Senior, and Senior puts Ryan Hall in at the corner for his second try. He's gone upstairs. He's gone upstairs. Video referee decision, he's gone upstairs. Saints pretty convinced. I'm sure Maguire's got rid of this ball before it got to Eastwood. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, for my money. From John Wilkin, here's the decision from Ian Smith, and it's try, and Leeds have scored. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt for the Rhinos. Kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at the Golf Farm. Leeds right back in it. It's Leeds Rhinos 14, St Helens 18. Cunningham gets us back underway. Here is Paul Clough. Clough eventually wrapped up, takes three of them to bring him to ground. Here's Cunningham at dummy half, pops it, misses Emmett, pops it to Roby, and Roby runs into the brick wall. That's Kylie Lulawai. Here's Cunningham at dummy half. Cunningham stuck behind Lulawai, keeps going. Cunningham gets it away to Emmett. Emmett for the line. It's going to be held up 5 metres short. Here's Cunningham, goes the short side for Gidley. Gidley for the corner, and Gidley, has he gone in? He's going to go upstairs. Video referee decision coming. He's gone upstairs to the video, and has Matt Gidley. Edge Saints back in front again. Touch judge isn't too sure, I don't. Let's have a look. Rob Burrows got hold of him. Gidley has, it looks like he's scored. Looks like he's scored. And has Matt Gidley got Saints back in front? This might be benefit of the doubt. He's not given it yet. Is he going to be shot? Has the ball on his foot? Has the ball on his foot? Somebody's got a foot under there. And here comes the decision. They're showing Gidley. Here comes the decision from Ian Smith. Big call this from Ian Smith. Here it comes, and a try's been given, and Saints have edged back in front again through Matt Gidley. And here is Jamie Foster with the conversion attempt for Saints, right out on that far touchline. I wouldn't back against Jamie Foster kicking this though. Here he is, yellow boots on, kicks on its way. It's got chances. This, no, it's gone across the face of the post, but that takes the lady score to Leeds Rhinos 14, St Helens 22. Badiris at dummy half finds Burrow. Burrow tries to go underneath, but Sean McGuinness wise to that one. Last tackle for the Rhinos. Badiris at dummy half finds Webb. Webb just puts the little dink in over the top. Wellens has let it bounce. Wellens fields 2 away from his line, and it's not a bad chase from the Rhinos as Paul Clough goes off. Here's Foster. Well wrapped up by Danny Badiris. Roby at dummy half finds McGuinness. Gardner at dummy half, infield to help out. Roby at dummy half for James Graham. Roby again at dummy half, gets it to Moore. Puts the kick in downfield. It's poor, it's straight down the throat of Brent Webb, who fields on the 20. Webb sets off infield. Burrow at dummy half finds Senior with a couple of steps, gets it back to Burrow. Burrow puts the manship feet on, but it's a good tackle from McGuinness. Could quick play the ball. Senior goes on the charge. Keith Senior gets it to Maguire. Danny Maguire's taken it. Danny Maguire for the line, and Leeds are in. 58 minutes on the clock, and it's Danny Maguire who's got the try. All come from a quick play the ball, and the experience that is Keith Senior splits through the Saints defence. Danny Maguire practices the juggling skills, collects the ball and gets it from 30 metres, and Leeds are right back in it. As Kevin Sinfield adds the conversion for the Rhinos. 21 minutes left here at the Golf Farm. It's Leeds Rhinos 20, St Helens 22. As Badiris goes from dummy half, here is Delaney. Badiris at dummy half, finds Peacock, here's Jamie Jones. Badiris at dummy half to Burrow, here's Webb back to Senior. Senior looks to get the offload off as Luke Burgess comes back in for Jamie Peacock. Here's Badiris from dummy half. Here's Badiris to Webb, and Leeds are going to take the lead. What a pass from Danny Badiris. Leeds are in. 17 minutes left on the clock, and Leeds have gone back in front. Oh, made by Danny Badiris. What a ball out of the back door. Gets it to Webb, and Webb streaks away and scores by the side of the post, and Leeds are back in front. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. Rush was trying to say that pass from Danny Badiris was forward. It was out of the back of the hand. There was nothing wrong with it. As the Leeds fans now are in full voice in the fantastic media stand here at the Golf Farm. Here is Kevin Sinfield to tag on the extras. Here is Sinfield, kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at the Golf Farm. Challenge Cup semi-final. Leeds back in front. It's the Rhinos 26, St Helens 22. Badiris at dummy half gets it to Sinfield. Sinfield back to Bailey. Here's Ryan Bailey. Last tackle. Badiris finds Sinfield. Sinfield drops it into the in-goal area, and that's a poor kick. It's going to be a 20-metre restart, and Jamie Foster looks to get on with it. Jamie Foster gets the 10 metres, so there's going to be no offside. Gardner goes from dummy half. Here's Cunningham at dummy half. Bryn Hargreaves has gone off, and that didn't look low, and it's been spotted by Bentham, and Saints get a penalty. And it's Ryan Bailey who's conceded it. Jake Emmett it is who's come back on as Wilkin with the touch finder. 10 minutes left as Graham takes it in for Saints. Cunningham at dummy half. Mrs. Emmett pops it back to Roby. Great tackle, gets it though away to Emmett, and Emmett wrapped up by Eastwood and Bailey. 15 away from the line. Cunningham at dummy half finds Moore. Saints just a little unorganised. It's back with Cunningham. Here's Wellens. Wellens on his own. Wellens for the line, wrapped up 2 metres short. Cunningham at dummy half gets it to Graham. Here's Graham, and Graham scored. James Graham scored, and Saints are in. James Graham's got in for the try, and the Leeds players is gone to video. He's gone to video. Has he gone to video? What's gone on? We don't know what's gone on. Here's Jamie Foster though to put Saints back in front. Here is Foster, kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at the Golf Farm. 9 minutes left. Saints back in front. Leeds 26, St Helens 28. Cunningham at dummy half. Gets it back again to Roby. Here's Wellens. Wellens pops it up to Cunningham, back to Wilkin. Wilkin with a couple of steps. Wilkin almost gets it out. Here's Flannery. Flannery to Melly. It's 2-on-1. Melly will cut back in field. Melly looks for support, can't get it away. Last tackle for Saints. Roby at dummy half finds Moore. Here's Wilkin. Wilkin puts the kick in. It's a poor kick. Senior will jump. Senior collects in the in goal, and Leeds can get on with it. Here is Sinfield gets it underway. Here is Ryan Hall. Sinfield at dummy half finds Maguire. Here is Delaney, took it, stood still, and that's high on Delaney. Here's Maguire at dummy half, finds Eastwood. Eastwood still going, gets to halfway. Badiris at dummy half, finds Burrow. Burrow goes crossfield, gets it to Senior. Senior cuts back in field. Senior's lost it. Jamie Jones has it now. Here's Burrow. Burrow gets away from Foster, but not from the cover. Senior at dummy half finds Webb. Here's Peacock. Peacock has an arm free, gets it to Maguire. Danny Maguire for the line, and a second try for Danny Maguire. Leeds are back in front. All came from Jamie Peacock. Great offensive play from the Rhinos. Got on a bit of a roll, got on a push through. Jamie Peacock it was with the offload, and there's Danny Maguire to get his second try of the game. And here is Kevin Sinfield with the conversion attempt. Ryan Bailey has left us, Kylie Luluai is back. Here's Sinfield, kicks on its way, and the flags are up here at the Golf Farm. What a game, what a game. Leeds back in front, they lead by 32 points to 28.